I guess my biggest fear, right, we talk a lot about the Democratic Party, it is that how reactionary is it going to be, right? You talked about getting rid of the filibuster. Is the filibuster going to be valuable now that the Republicans have control of all three major branches of government? No?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Here's why. Sorry, but here's why I don't think it is. It's already more damaging to Democrats than it is to Republicans, because the only thing Republicans care about are cutting taxes and appointing justices and judges. You don't need those are filibuster proof, because if you want to cut taxes, that's economic stuff, and you don't need to put that in a filibuster. That can go through with a simple majority. Same thing goes with judges. And if it comes to something that doesn't fit in those two categories, like a national abortion ban, you can bet your ass they will carve out an exception for the filibuster for that. So I just don't think it's going to matter with the Republicans. I don't think it safeguards anything, because do any of you believe that the Republicans want to pass something draconian? They're just going to say, okay, this one, the filibuster doesn't apply. This is going to go into reconciliation. I don't believe that for a second. You think the parliamentarian, they'll let them stand in the way or something? I don't think it actually will.
Yeah. So there's no safeguards, right? So the Republicans virtually are going to move government forward however they want to from here. And so, we can talk about what is the Democratic Party going to do over the next couple of years, but what are the Republicans going to do over the next couple of years? What's the political landscape going to look like?
Yeah, Liz, I was kind of hoping we would just run out the clock and not get to that, because genuinely, I've been avoiding thinking about it too much. I'll get there. I will, and it'll be staring us right in the face eventually. I've been avoiding even what they're saying. I can't stomach it right now. I have to, the only hope, and I said this, the only hope that we have, and I can't fucking believe this, is that corporate interests don't let them wreck things too bad, because that is kind of the only chance that we have, is that their donor strings cause enough Republicans to stop them from doing 20% tariffs, or actually carry out full-on mass deportation, because you know what? Monsanto needs those fucking workers, babe.
Yeah.
And no, you're not going to do that. And also, the other thing I'm relying on is Trump's an incompetent idiot. And those are the two things that I'm just like, you know what? Hopefully it ain't too bad, guys. I don't know. What do you think, TJ?
Yeah, so we are in a real life alien versus predator situation here. That's what we're dealing with the corporations and the Republicans that are going to be running the show. And that our only hope is that one of these evil entities has enough self-preservation to stop the entire thing from falling apart. And that, like, for example, Trump's 20% tariff thing can't happen. I'm sorry, it can't. Like, this is like, that would, there's no benefit for American corporations to have a 20%, because they would be the ones paying the tariffs. Okay. So like, there's no benefit in them for having something like this. So what was that, Liz?
We're going to pay the tariffs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So yeah. And that's not going to be sustainable for their economic performances. So even if something like, let's say Trump gets a lot of the economic stuff he does that does benefit the corporations, it will have disastrous effects in the economy. If he does deport millions of people that are the basis for a lot of different industries, that's going to wreck the economy. So he has a year and a half to do this sort of damage, that it's bad enough that they can get the Republicans out of one of the houses, either the House or the Senate. And if that happens, it can send the tide quite a bit. But that's literally the only thing that we can hope for, that something like that happens. And I am not. Then again, maybe it's God, I hate pulling the old person card, but I've been in situations where I've seen people feeling just like they feel now, that it's done, it's over. You guys remember when Trump was elected the first time? It was very similar to this. People said, "It's it. This is the end of America. Wrap it up. It's done." There is time to come back. Like, we don't need to, dress in sackcloth and ashes just yet. It's like, it's okay to be scared and terrified and worry about it, but that doesn't solve any problems. Like looking forward to see what we can do, I think it does a lot more good, because parties do reach these situations and people do reach levels of desperation, but trying to look for an answer, I find far more helpful than throwing up our hands and saying there's nothing we can do. I don't see any benefit in that.
And that's why. So there was a guy in our comments section who's been hammering. He was hammering this question, and he's been hammering my content. He's a huge hater of mine. He got banned. Did you? I
got him. It was annoying. It was like 85 comments. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, he's a crazy person who has.
I can't see them today. Last time I was on, I was able to see all the comments.
They're over on the right.
Are there two tabs? One of them says, because I was on tennis. I've never been the guest on StreamYard before. And so I saw there was two tabs. Oh, there's a comments tab because I didn't know if the guests could see them either. But he's gone now, Liz. So yeah.
There's so many I didn't see.
He had like
this has been a very good comment show. And by the way, everyone commenting, I want to say thank you. Even the ones who are saying mean stuff. We do a Q&A show on Tuesdays where we directly address all the comments. So
John, we tried to do a Q&A.
We tried. So that is the time. If you, like, a lot of things have been said that I want to get to, and we're just not going to have time. This is our time. We do our pre-recorded show. So thank you very much. Be here on Tuesdays.
Real quick, I wanted to say that I was thinking it's funny that Liz couldn't see the comments, and it would be really funny if like half the comments were like, "I love Liz. Her content's amazing." It's so great. This whole time she had no idea.
Wait, he's back. John's back. He got another account, TJ. Wait. Before you ban him, because I want to address what he was saying. So he was saying, if you really believe Trump is a fascist, shouldn't you guys be doing a January 6th times 1,000? And here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people have this problem where they hear fascist and they go, they're going to do exactly what the Nazis did.
I know.
And the problem with this analysis is that fascism is a political ideology. It is not a set of policies. And so when I say this, I'm like, yeah, if I thought that Donald Trump was for sure going to be able to bring down democracy and end it in America, yeah, I think it would be reason to do a January 6th and times 1,000, one that was actually successful. I don't think that will happen. I think that our institutions will hold. I do not think we need to do a violent overthrow of the government and start a civil war in order to prevent these things from happening, because I have faith in our institutions.
Yeah.
That's why that doesn't happen on our side.
Yeah.
And that also doesn't mean he isn't a fascist. Just because you aren't able to do all of the fascist shit you want to do doesn't mean you're not a fascist. If I couldn't get laid, that wouldn't make me gay because I'm not having sex with women. I would still be straight, even though I'm not accomplishing the goal of being straight. Like, just because you aren't enacting the fascist policy doesn't mean you aren't philosophically a fascist. And that's my stump on that. I saw some good faces there.
Hashtag John Fucks. I want to put that up there. Apparently, yeah. This is the unfortunate reality of living in an incredibly stupid population. I hate to say it, but it's just the truth. Is that they'll say, well, Trump's a fascist. Listen, so Trump's a fascist. So why aren't you overthrowing the government? There's a lot of reasons for that. Okay, first, you can make very strong, effective, true arguments. Every American president is a fascist. Okay, let's get that clear right away. We live in a fascist police state. However, that doesn't mean there's any value in overthrowing the government, because if you overthrow the government, there will be a power vacuum like you couldn't believe.
The biggest of all time.
It would be like a meteor hitting the earth. If we rose up and we just took over Washington, D.C., we just we raised it to the ground, and we just all right, the American government's destroyed. We stopped the fascist dictatorship. Millions, possibly billions, honestly, not exaggerating, people would die. Just not only the infrastructure we have for transporting food, fresh water, medicine, all around the world collapses. The military is free to do literally whatever it wants. The economic structures that hold the globe in place collapse immediately. You guys are thinking like children, which I'm kind of used to from the right, but just overthrowing the government is a terrible idea. It shows up. it would be the worst thing you could do in the 21st century. So no, it's a little short-sighted to say, oh, why aren't you just overthrowing the government? Yeah, that's like, this is why the people in January, which is, by the way, the January 6th thing, I said this too, like in reverse to what that guy was saying, was that Republicans say that, January 6th was a psyop, January 6th was peaceful, January 6th was justified. They never settled on exactly what January 6th was. I'd like to see what their actual thought was.
But while they have never settled on what January 6th was, every protest in 2020, specifically Black Lives Matter protests, those were all violent riots to these same people.
Exactly, yeah.
So I do think that there's also how differently would a different demographic of people be treated if they did virtually the exact same demonstration?
Oh, yeah. If January 6th was black people, well, it's like the cops would be in Iron Man suits to take them down. That's what would happen in January 6th, and we all fucking know it. Yeah, so I agree.
They would have invented a new weapon on the spot.
They would have. It would be exactly, yeah, if there was anything close to that.
And then, I think another thing that people need to realize is that critiquing fascism, John, you touched on it. Fascism, it's not a specific set of policies or actions. It's an ideal, right? So it's the same people who would be like, I want you to storm the Capitol so that the police can come and arrest you, right? Like the cheering on of the police state, right? It is all of these things that Trump has said that he wants to do, him not actively doing them this second or potentially not being able to do them doesn't make him any less of a fascist. And warning about the very real concerns of fascism is important. Like, that's just other John.
Oh, I put him in timeout. He's gone. Yeah, it was very funny to me to just dress him down and boot him. It's once again, John. If you hear welcome to the intolerant left, man. Okay, this is.
Thank you. You have made it to the end of this episode. We thank you very, very much. And if you donated any money to those loser fucking Democrats, well, you know a better place to put it. Give it to people like us. We're totally unbiased in saying that is the way we are going to win in 2028. Anyway, we always have wonderful guests on this show. Liz has been a repeat guest. She has told you guys where to find her before, but if you haven't watched those episodes, Liz, where can people find you?
You can find me on all the platforms at AllboutLiz. That's AllboutLiz, not all about. AllboutLiz. That's my favorite tag from the gaming days.
Love it so much. Thank you, folks. We really appreciate Liz. Really appreciate all you guys watching. And like John said, I mean, Mark Cuban, George Soros, DCCC, anybody. So send the cash our way. We will make better use of it than anyone else you did in the past. And we'll see what we can do. Catch you guys later.